Are you feeling behind when it comes to how much you have saved up for retirement? This is a common feeling, a common concern. How much do you need to have at a certain age to be on track? I'm going to show you that and help you get there. That and more coming up. My name is Mike Bernard. I'm the host of the Wise Money Show. I'm also one of the certified financial planners right here at Korhorn Financial Group. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and smash that thumbs up button. Hate is a strong word, but I hate financial rules of thumb. I just hate financial rules of thumb. Why? Because I think they give you a false sense of really where you're at in whatever the financial goal is you're trying to achieve. If you are on track with said financial rule of thumb, then you can get a false sense of security and confidence and say, I don't need to do that comprehensive planning. See, I'm good. And later on, find out down the road when it maybe is too late to do something about it, you actually weren't on track. That was misleading. Or if you're not on track with that financial rule of thumb, you can panic and actually lose some hope, and that can actually cause you to take some other steps that actually get you further away from where you should really needed to be anyway, just because you took that rule of thumb as a substitute for planning. Financial rules of thumb are no substitute for the comprehensive financial planning work, looking at all 6 areas of your financial life. So then why are they helpful? Why are there so many financial rules of thumb? Well, there's a reason for that too. Your wealth is secret. Your finances are a secret. And I'm not talking about just yours. I'm talking about everyone's finances are secret. It's hidden. Okay. And so you're trying to get a glimpse of, well, wait a second, where are they at? They seem to be further along than where I am. So am I not doing things right? Or I seem further along than them. Maybe I am doing things right. And so we use these sort of rules of thumb as a way, as a measuring stick, okay? And there's danger, I told you with that, but because wealth is a secret, sometimes those rules of thumbs are a little sort of just directional. Okay, either I might be on the right track or I might not. They give you a little anecdote, a little bit of information. Well, I can't think of a bigger wealth is a secret example than how much should you have saved up? How much should you have saved up? And for us, right, it's the retirement planning that's what you're saving up for. Most people saving up to eventually kiss that paycheck goodbye, walk off that ledge, and live out their golden years in retirement. And so you're building up a nest egg to do that. But the question is am I saving up enough? Well, the way to really know that is retirement planning is one of the 6 areas of your financial life. And there's a 5-factor retirement plan that you need to analyze for yourself, looking at your unique situation, the age you want to be done in life expectancy, how much you plan on spending in retirement. And no, that's not just a multiple of your income. That's truly, what's it take to live the lifestyle you're accustomed to, and then add in health insurance and add in vacations and add in taxes that are specific to you, and then adjust that for inflation. The 3rd factor is what are the retirement income sources you're going to have? So how do you optimize Social Security? 4th is how much do you have saved up for retirement, and how much are you saving every single year throughout your working career? And then 5th, how much investment risk are you comfortable taking with your investments? And the trick is, those 5 factors, they're all interrelated. You make a decision in one, it's going to impact the others. That's the work that will help you know, yes, I'm on track, or no, I'm off track. I've saved up enough and I'm doing what I need to, or no, I'm not, I need to make an adjustment. Get started on that 5-factor retirement plan. If you haven't already built one yet, you can go to wisemoneyguides.com, fill out our workbook that will help guide you through that analysis of each of those 5 factors and get you ready for stress testing that with your certified financial planner. But around this wealth is a secret, how much do I have saved up before you do that 5-factor retirement plan work? If you're just curious, well, is there a guide? Is there a rule of thumb on where I should be? Yeah, I saw this one recently from Fidelity, and like I said, it's a rule of thumb, so it has all of those flaws with it. I wouldn't have this be a substitute for planning, but it is a data point. It's some information that can help point you, yeah, I might be on the right track, or hey, I might be on the wrong track. So what's it say? Well, take a look at this chart. Okay, this is how they have it laid out, and we'll talk about a couple of inflection points here. Age 30, their rule of thumb here is you should have 1 times your annual salary saved up for retirement by the time you're age 30. And that's not in your 30s, that's by the time you're age 30. So if you're making 60 grand a year, that's your annual salary, your gross salary, you should have about 60 grand saved up by the time you're 30. By the time you're 40, it should be about 3 times your salary. So let's say your salary is grown and by then you're making an annual salary of $75,000. You should have around $225,000 saved up in retirement by the time you reach age 40. Jumping forward to age 50, 6 times. 6 times your salary by age 60 is what you should have set aside in your retirement nest egg. If you're, say, making $100,000 by age 50, you should have about $600,000 saved up to be on track per this rule of thumb. And then by age 60, you should have 8 times your salary saved up. So say you're making $110,000 a year, something like that, you should have around $880,000 saved up by the time you're 60. And if you're retiring at age 67, that's 10 times your salary. You can do that math. That is flawed. That is a flawed rule of thumb, but it is a path, and it will give you some data points, some information so that you can sort of benchmark or set a comparison. Well, where am I compared to where this guide? Now, if you're way off track from these rules of thumb, that might still mean you are right on track. You're right where you're supposed to be for your unique and specific financial situation. So if you're not on track with what this rule of thumb is showing, don't lose heart. Don't get discouraged. It's very possible you might have some extra work you need to do, but it's also very possible you are on track for your specific unique situation. And if you're actually ahead of schedule based on this rule of thumb, could mean you actually are ahead of schedule, could mean you're behind. You've got to do that 5-factor retirement planning, okay? That 5-factor retirement analysis, working with your certified financial planner. This is most often the biggest financial goal that we're all going to achieve. You don't want to just base it off of rules of thumb. If you are feeling like you're off track, let me give you a couple of suggestions, ways that you can get back on track. Number 1, increase what you're saving towards retirement by 1% a year. And if that seems too basic, too easy, then make it 2%, okay? If you're currently saving 6% every single year, increasing by 1%, pretty soon you're going to be maxing out that 401k in just a couple of years, and that compound interest really will add up over time, and you won't miss that 1%. Second, save your raises. Save your raises. That's a more specific or more tangible way of increasing that 1%. If you get a 3% raise, have that entire 3% go right into your 401k, right into your savings account, and keep that lifestyle where it is. That will help you with something else. No one's named it. I called it the Bernard Paradox, where that will help keep your lifestyle in line and manageable while you save up more. The more you have saved up, the less you're spending, right? Because you're saving more, okay? But the less you spend, you actually don't need as much saved up. So that's a dual benefit versus the opposite. The less you save up, meaning the more you spend today, actually means you've got to have a lot more saved up, right? It works against you there. So save your raises. That's another challenge. Make sure you're getting the full company match. Know your formula. I've met with so many people who have said, oh yeah, I'm getting the full company match. And then when we actually dive into it, the formula is complicated. They were leaving some money on the table. And speaking of leaving money on the table, the last challenge is be mindful of gaps in your career that cause gaps in your saving for retirement. Making a job change and saying, okay, I'm not eligible for the 401k just yet. I'll start saving later. And in the meantime, we've got extra cash flow. No, move that cash flow and start funding that Roth IRA or max out that HSA, something like that during those gaps in your career. All of that though, even those 4 suggestions, those 4 challenges, is no substitute for doing that 5-factor planning work with your certified financial planner. If you don't have a CFP on your team, you can contact one on my team. Find us online, Korhorn.com. That's Korhorn with K. WiseMoneyShow.com. You can find us there as well, or give us a call, 574-247-5898. All right, there you have it. Go out and take your next wise step in your financial life.